Hello everybody and welcome to Cinema Savvy. It's myself George bringing you a brand new movie review, and today I finally get to talk about Everything Everywhere All at Once, the brand new sci-fi film directed by the duo Daniels, in cinemas in the UK this Friday the 13th of May, and straight away out the gate one of the films you have to go and see immediately upon launch at the cinema ASAP, because we have ourselves one of the films of the year. But before I get into all of that sort of stuff, I'm going to very quickly go over the social medias for you and a lot of other things, because there's so much happening on the channel this week. But I've been really excited to talk about this film, so please do comment your thoughts on Everything Everywhere All at Once. If you're in America, it's been out for over a month, it's been out in places in Europe for a while, you can obviously comment your thoughts on them. Try and avoid spoilers in case people haven't seen it, but just comment your thoughts. It's an absolute wild film and I really can't wait to talk about it with some people. Curious to see what people think of it as well, so please do comment on. And if you're new to the channel, if you want to find out what we do, of course we're a film channel. We like covering original films as well as obviously big franchises, directors, loads of other stuff. Go follow us on our social media. That is Twitter at cinema_savvy, Facebook and letterboxd.com/cinemasavvy. Links to public in that description below. But with all that out of the way, I can finally talk about this film because I saw this last Wednesday. Very, very lucky to see that this film was released in IMAX for one day only in the UK. If people are curious about that, it's very simple explanation why. Doctor Strange came out on the Thursday. That has the IMAX screens booked up until the 25th. And then we have Top Gun in cinemas, booking that up through to Jurassic Park in June, like all the rest. So the chance to have seen this film at IMAX, I'm very, very grateful for. Again, fair play to the PRs for putting out there for people, for the chains getting involved and showing them as well. This, as I said, is a film to see at the cinema, but seeing this in IMAX was really, really cool and very different to the very typical normal IMAX sort of stuff. So if you did see the IMAX, comment that as well, actually. I want to know what other people thought. But as I said, this has had previews across the UK. At the time of recording, there's another screening tonight, which I'm unable to go to, but I will be going again at the weekend with one of my parents. And it's just a wild film, and if I'm going to really get into it, sort of seeing the experience and actually my thoughts, I've got to talk about the hype heading into this. I managed to stay clear of every single trailer. I'd seen a couple of photos, you know, the one of Yeoh, the posters. I'd seen this as the film that everybody is speaking about. You must see it. When's it coming out in the UK? All these kinds of questions. And it was so exciting to know nothing about a film heading in. And, you know, when everyone's starting to hype something up, you truly feel that, is this going to be an overhyped film? Is this not? This absolutely is not. And what I have to say is, again, word of mouth is everything. Seeing the box office this has made in the States, you know, it retained #1 before Doctor Strange came out. Its percentage drops were minuscule. This film has been overperforming, and the fact that we had an original film that's not part of any franchise or anything, getting pretty much a sold-out IMAX screening at my local one last week was absolutely insane. And it's really cool as well, just to get that traction to a film. And I hope the preview screenings that are happening tonight have a lot more people in, and I really hope this does do okay with the UK box office. I don't feel it will be as strong as it has in America, purely because it is the sandwich release between Doctor Strange and Top Gun over here. And, you know, I'm excited to see this again, and there's a lot of other things happening. But let's talk about the film, because as I mentioned, I know nothing about the Daniels, the duo. I think they did music videos in the past. I was aware that they declined working on Loki, which is absolutely fair play to them. And obviously, you know, if you're unaware of the concept of this film, multiverses are involved. The second film in as many days, I got to see a new multiverse film, which was a very weird experience. Not something that happens often, but I've just got to say, this film, as far as an original concept goes, yes, okay, Doctor Strange is out, and I'm not fussed about the Marvel side of it, but to get this intense family drama about multiverses, I thought was phenomenal. As far as a story beat goes, a concept to believe in, and the way in which you're presented the characters on the screen, the real family working within it. Because as much as I wanted to see this, you know, for the sci-fi element, for the multiverse stuff, you know, you're not just going to get hyped because it's got a multiverse. That's not how this sort of thing works. It's got to be that quality of film, and this absolutely has that. The real nails of it is a drama about a family breaking apart, quite literally. And that fragmented multiverse angle, the science fiction twist, pulls you into that, and it enables to create this absolute monstrosity of a film. And that's what makes it so much more amazing, because it's just nothing like it, you know. And the approach that the Daniels have to this film, it is bonkers. And when I say that, I don't mean like, oh, it's really cool, you know, you go to different universes. Just the imagery we have, the concepts, the ideas from different characters in the different universes, there's just nothing quite like it. And I sort of joked to one of my friends, you know, was watching Yeoh in the Multiverse of Madness, because you get this very interesting dimension connection to these characters, and just taking the film in. It's hard to speak. It was a week ago I saw it, by the way, and I've not forgotten it. It stayed in my head for that entire week, and I just can't wait to see it again. But if you're looking for an original film, that is straight away the must see. Go and see this film this week as soon as you can, with it on screens for you to watch. But when I'm talking about some of the characters now, I've got to talk about Michelle Yeoh in the main role, of course. Absolutely superb. I know we did the Bond retrospective last year, and we obviously got to talk about Tomorrow Never Dies, but she's one of the actors I've not actually seen in too many things, which is really bad. That is on me. Obviously I saw her in Shang-Chi as well last year. But getting her in a drama, an American drama as well, I thought she was superb in this. I think she steals it. When we get the different iterations of her, she just fluently transcends into each one, and almost one of her characters is almost a, not a parody, but it's the, what happens if she became a successful, martial artist or actor or something. Obviously we know that's the Michelle Yeoh as well, that we're obviously familiar with. So there's a very meta, I know that's a term being overused a lot recently, but I love that kind of stuff. And when we get different versions of her character where she might be better at certain things than others, she just steals it every single time she's on screen, and it's just a delight to see her in this, taking on the role of this struggling mother. And obviously one of the main characters we have to speak about as well is Yeoh, played of course by, I'm going to pronounce it properly because that's unfair if I don't, Kehu Kwan, who you may know as shorthand from Indiana Jones, an actor that's actually, if you've read some interviews recently this year, he hasn't had many roles post Indiana Jones. It's quite sad because he was so stereotyped as an actor, obviously Goonies as well, that he would only get offered the same roles, and with so few opportunities available for differing roles to stereotypes, he ended up doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff, stunt work. So seeing him back on the big screen was honestly one of the highlights of the film. Not the fact he's grown up, and there's been a lot of jokes and people sort of saying stuff like that he's, the Dr. Octopus, he's all grown up now. He was really good in this film, and that's the most important thing. Yes, it's lovely to see him, but he is fantastic in this film when he can just switch in and out of different characters, different versions of himself. It's so fluent, and he has unbelievable chemistry with Michelle Yeoh. Those two together, they're a believable couple. And when we get the different takes on them across the different verses, every single version we get of the pair of them just work. And inherently it comes down to him. He is the heart for this film. And it's a very interesting film, because I mentioned it's very much a family drama. What I didn't get from other films, which I got from this, is just being emotionally attached to it, that it does feel very normal. Things are very believable, but when you have certain characters doing certain things or jumping elsewhere, it never loses its touch. He always feels like he is there, he is present, and he's playing the same consistent character. Nothing's out of character for him, and I think he is the linchpin in this film, that he holds it together, and you really have to believe in his arc. And it's not hard to believe in his arc because he's just so extraordinary. He's very funny still as well. And I understand a lot of, not the criticisms of Short Round, obviously the stereotypes of him. When I was sort of 11, 12, seeing that, I absolutely love Short Round. I still love him staying. It's just nice to see him doing something. I really hope this is going to kickstart potential, getting him into more roles down the line. I would absolutely love to see that. I think a lot of people would love to see that too. So him and Michelle Yeoh are two of the unbelievable highlights from this as well. And of course Stephanie Soup as well, playing the daughter, the role of Joy. A really good performance as well. Loved her in this. I feel like I recognised her out of something, and they said she was in Shang-Chi, but I didn't. I know she's in Shang-Chi for a couple of things, but I feel like I'd seen her in something else, but I really hadn't, which was amazing because I thought she was phenomenal in this film. I wouldn't say the highlight, that sounds really unfair. They're all fantastic in this, but she's absolutely solid, and for a character I didn't expect to be as developed as you may think. Certain stereotypes with when you've got a, like an outsider in the family. It doesn't do any of that. Everyone gets their story arc, and she is as integral as the rest of them. So full credit to Stephanie Sue for this one as well. And as I said, it's the family dynamic that makes this, and all the hype you've had on this film. Yes, they can talk about multiverse stuff. Yes, they can talk about going into different worlds or the story, but the core of it is the family drama. And if the family drama doesn't work, the film can't work. But it works beyond belief, honestly. It's an understatement when I say, I know I said it recently, The Northman, that's my film of the year, but just experiencing this, if you've seen it, you understand what I mean. It just hits you out of the blue. You'll just get something insane pop up. And it's that wild imagery that shouldn't work, combined with the family drama and everything clicking with one another. It feels like it is this, piece of insane fiction, which it is, and it's just so exciting. I cannot wait to see it again. And I'm not going to go and sit here and talk about multiverse of science. There's none of that stuff absolutely irrelevant to what needs to be done. Again, this is at its core a family drama involving sci-fi. But if you do like action, like your set pieces, you do get some very good stuff. Obviously, you know where you're going to go, Michelle Yeoh, and I believe that one of the original drafts or an early concept was that Jackie Chan would be in that lead role, which I could have absolutely seen as well. But I don't think we'd have got as good a family drama of the other characters if Jackie Chan had been in that role. So this is definitely something else that worked so much better for the film. Not that I dislike Jackie Chan, I absolutely love Jackie Chan, but yeah, again, it's really hard to talk about. Even stuff like the soundtrack. The soundtrack listing is insane. There's a lot of artists that have contributed towards it. I haven't actually listened to it yet. I'm going to wait till I see it again at the cinema. But the soundtrack's fine. But I'm just going to keep reiterating. Go and see this film at the cinema. It's a very short review. It might be one of the most hyped films of the year, but it is a film that delivers. It's something that, again, I don't think you can quite believe the hype until you've seen it. And I'm just going to sit here and say, it's May now. We're heading into summer blockbuster season, and the fact that this $25 million budget film looks so much better than sort of $200-300 million films that come out all so often. Please go and support this film. See this film at the cinema. Try and get people to see this film at the cinema. People sit there and cry saying there's no original films out. There's nothing out. There's nothing big in between comic book films. There always is. They just don't have the budgets to market like the rest of them. So find these films, support these films. And with Daniel, as I said, I'm unfamiliar with their work. I'm going to go and have a look at some of their work, and there'll be people I follow now. I'm curious to see what their next plans are. And with this film, I'm straight on the Oscar campaign. This feels like this could have I hate the Oscars talk almost a year early, but this is going to have people talking next year, and I'd be surprised if this doesn't have discussions or gets on a sort of hype towards the end of the year. It's a film that you've got to see on the big screen, that you must see. If you're a fan of film, you don't even need to sell it to you. This is going to be this year's wild experience for you to see. So yeah, that is going to round out my very, very positive glowing review of Everything Everywhere All at Once. As I said, please do comment your thoughts on the film. If you've seen it, please comment along with that. Let me know your thoughts on them. I'll reply to any comments that do come up on the chat. And if you're new to the channel, obviously follow us on our social medias at Twitter at cinema_savvy, Facebook, letterboxd.com/cinemasavvy. Links to public in that description below. We've got a lot of stuff happening on the channel. I keep speaking about multiverses. We've obviously done Doctor Strange in the last week. We've had 2 Doctor Strange reviews out, spoiler-free spoiler discussion. Loads of things happening. We've got the Steven Spielberg retrospective every Tuesday, 8 PM British Standard Time. And speaking of it, I mentioned Short Round Temple of Doom. That's going to be coming up in 2 weeks' time. So we will be getting to talk Indiana Jones again. And it's Star Wars month. There's a lot of Star Wars things happening. Kenobi's coming out. We've got so many Star Wars videos happening. So join me and Tate this Friday. We're doing a tier list ranking on every single lightsaber duel in the Star Wars films. We've got covering all 15 of them, going through them in detail. So if you're into Star Wars stuff, do join us for that. And this is a new review, this is a new release. They're not going away anytime soon. Any wild discussions, indie drama, sci-fi, you name it, we'll have it covered for you. So once again, thank you all for watching, and be sure to join us on the next one. Take care.